Yeah, love to say you're listening to OKFM 99.5 here in Monrovia. Good evening. Welcome to this special interview and program in collaboration with Talking Drum Studio from the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices. And as you may be aware, today is the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. So we have in studio the National Administrator of the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices, Marian Deah. I hope I got your name right, Marian. I want to say good evening and welcome. With no time, you tell us what is the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices. What is this organization? What do you do?
Thank you, and let me say thank you to the listening audience out there.
Okay.
Yes, the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices was firstly called the National Working Group Against FGM, and this group was established since 2010.
Okay.
This is a network of more than 16 institutions working around the issue of harmful practices to bring a safe space for women and girls to be free from harmful practices, including female genital mutilation.
Okay. Why is it important? Okay.
And since that time, we've been working. Today having to be February 6th, which is the International Day of Zero Tolerance to Female Genital Mutilation. We have come to discuss issues that we have been working around. So female genital mutilation is an age-old issue within Liberia, not Liberia alone, but it's a global issue. Okay. And this practice for Liberia is being done in an exclusive area called the Sandy. And with the Sandy, the practice is them. The Sandy is the horse of our culture, wherein other practices that are best to Liberia, according to Article 5 of our Constitution, the best practices, all of those are done there. But except the mutilation aspect, that is this problem we have been discussing. So with our engagement over the years, engaging the traditional leaders, because they are the custodian of the practice, of the culture. So the National Council of Chiefs and Elders and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we've been working with them all along with our advocacy that we can have this culture, we can have our Sunday, but without mutilation. Okay. And so understanding from our advocacy background, they decided to come in. The first time was 2018 with a 1-year moratorium suspending suspending Sunday, including female genital mutilation. Okay. And the 1 year elapsed 2019. So again we started until 2022, where they agreed, over 100 practitioners agreed, and we met in Banga on February 4th. Okay. And a 3-year moratorium was signed, suspending all Sunday practices, including FGM. Okay. So with that moratorium, we've been working, raising awareness, talking to the practitioners so that they can adhere to the moratorium. So with that, the traditional leader have been taking the lead, and the chief Zanzan himself, they have closed 4 butchers right now as we speak. Today's activity marks 5 of the butchers that have been closed. They are in Lofa, Vesila, town, wherein they are dedicating the Heritage Center as well, closing the FGM, the Sunday Bush there. The practitioners are now giving up their tools. But the actual thing is, we have a moratorium where many people, butchers have been closed, Cape Mount, Monserrado, Nimba, Bon, but we're not seeing that effect. As you get out there and talk, the people, the practitioners say, oh yes, we just heard it on radio, and we're not aware, we don't know what the moratorium says and what have you.
Okay.
So NACAP, in collaboration with its members, with support from Action in Liberia and funding from the Swedish Embassy, again came together and simplify this moratorium.
Okay.
To the point that the old man that is selling in that bush or in Banga City, let's say Vesila as we speak now in Lofa, when they are says great child or children take this paper, they can read it to them so that they understand.
Okay.
We did not remain there. We then place it with a drama that they will listen to it and know that, oh, this is happening. Again, the simple English version wherein somebody sit and just read in our colloquial, our Liberian language, the colloquial, that a market seller, the billboard seller, the old man herself will understand.
So okay. In 2023, if I'm not mistaken, the National Council of Chiefs and Elders, in collaboration with the Internal Affairs, and the let's say Ambassador Julie Andy, they have this program in Tori, I think Lower Monserrado County.
Yes.
But you're part of it.
Yes.
Tell me.
He was in Tori, in Sange Town.
Okay.
So in Sange Town, there was a ban. They said Monserrado was banned from FGM. Bon, the same. Cape Mount, the same. But FGM is practiced in 11 counties in Liberia. And so there are few things that need to be put in place that was agreed upon.
I'm sorry. Okay. How did you know that certain practices are happening in certain counties? Did you go there to ask the people? How did you know that?
Oh, yes. I've been in this work since 2011.
Wow.
And even our surveys done in almost all of the counties
Good.
tell us that this aspect is practiced here and this is not practiced here.
So you did a survey?
Yes, in the southeast, and it is Grand Jide that is practicing FGM, and Grand Crew is creeping in, but not yet. They have not yet started fully, so we take into consideration Grand Jide. But the other southeastern counties, there are things that are happening there too that are harmful.
Okay.
So that we can talk about. So in those counties, there are things happening, harmful practices. So we take notice with our survey, know that Liberia, there is 11 practicing counties when it comes to FGM.
So you think you people, your efforts are yielding fruits in controlling female genital mutilation in Liberia?
I say yes.
Okay.
Yes. As years back, our first engagement was with the National Council of Chiefs and Elders in 2012. And just by us saying FGM, we were held hostage by Chief Zanzan Kawa himself. And before, people could not talk about FGM in the public. You could not even sit on radio as we are doing right now to discuss FGM. It was a taboo. So the fact that our advocacy have broken that taboo, one, and the resentment with the practitioners and the traditional leaders is now broken. And traditional leaders are now taking the lead when it comes to they themselves raising awareness on FGM or taking action when it comes to the practice of FGM, it means our effort is yielding result.
What do you meet when you go to what do you say or what do you hear when you go to meet these communities, talking to them about FGM?
When you say, what do I...
Okay, you did a survey, and a certain number of counties in Liberia are practicing FGM, right? When you go there, when you went there to do the survey, what did you get? What did the people say to you? Because this is like almost a lifestyle, of these people. You grow up, for generations, you're doing this same thing, and you now enforcing that to stop. It is wrong. Yeah.
Yes, so you will know that this is being done for economic benefit. It's a rite of passage to the child. It prepare that child for marriage. So in our survey, this is something that they are proud of.
Okay.
So if you get to this town and ask FGM is practiced here, what are those culture that happens in this town?
So I'm not cutting you. I want to know how. Give me a picture of the interaction with these people. Do you go and act like one of them? You disguise yourself, or you go to them one-on-one? Because this is something people see as secret.
So yes, you are a baby. We're ready. There were other strategies that was used, but at the end of the day, the final one that we are working with now is using the practitioner or the traditional people themselves.
Okay.
They are the one who mobilize. They are traditional people, and then they talk to them. It's like we gave them the word, this is what we are saying. So you were convinced the other people to your side, right? So with our engagement and advocacy interaction with Chizanzan, he was opportune to travel to Nigeria and other Kenya and other African countries that practice FGM. So he experienced from there, and the national coordinator Sita Fofana was opportune to travel with other zoos. The practitioners are called zoos. So they travel to America, to New York for the CSW and other things. So those people, when they get back, their idea is being transformed.
Okay.
They have a mind of thinking between the line to know what is it. So they are on our side. We use those people to get back to their own people so that they discuss the issue. Yes, our culture is good, but this practice is a global thing, in not only unique to Liberia. So I think we can do this and we can do that. Even with the example of the former president, Madam Eric Johnson Sirleaf, being a first female president in Africa, all those things, bringing it on board. So the traditional leaders themselves take the lead. We use them as our mobilizer one. We use them as facilitators. So these things help us to break through so that we discuss the issue.
So you use the community to do your job.
Yeah.
Have you had a problem confronting these people? Is there a problem? Like if you go to them and tell them, this is what we've come to do, this is what we want to do, do they sometimes refuse or don't want to talk to you?
Yes, before it was like that. They will resist. And when I want to talk to you, this is our culture. You cannot tell us what to do about our culture. This is what we grew up and saw with our forefathers, and it was passed on to us. So you cannot say this. But with the continual engagement, yes, now they can say, we one time in my GB, the first moratorium, we went around to discuss it, and the practitioners were blunt. They said, we can't tell you that we will leave our practice. We will continue to do our practice because this is what it's our heritage. But today, the practitioners have been engaged by their own leaders, and things are getting on course.
Have you ever talked to these people, or let's talk generally about why is FGM so bad? What are the effects of female genital mutilation? Because if people get to know what the risks, the consequences of their action or what they will be doing, I think they will see consider or reconsider what are those effects, or what is the effect of female genital mutilation, not just to the person, but to the entire country, an entire society.
So there are so many risks involved, so many effects, but taking it from the end of the traditional leaders, they will not fully agree with you
Okay.
that this is not good. Though they go through those things, but they did not see it like it was the effect of FGM. Some people have bleeding. Some people, because of that, they went through C-section to have their children. Some people, they bleed after giving birth. Some people live with psychological trauma. Some people, many fistulas, STI, other things. But majority of them did not know first that this was caused by FGM. Somebody will come to you and tell you, say, I underwent FGM and I have all of my children, I'm okay and all of that. But and health wise, FGM has so many. First of all, it does not have any health benefit. Yes. So doing it on a person, a female, is not good. And
Okay.
when it comes to human rights, it is going against the right of that person because it's forceful. The people, the parents decide on behalf of their children to go to the practice. So it is forceful. Again, other harmful practices come in, child marriage, arranged marriage, and all of those things. Because if this child goes to the Sunday and it's been mutilated, they will be waiting. There is a cost. So if the parent does not have that amount to pay, it means that they will arrange with this man and the man will go and pay the money. From there, the child gets married. So there are arranged marriage, early marriage, forceful marriage. All those things are against human rights. So again, apart from just what the victims or the survivors go through, Liberia is a signatory to almost all of the human rights instruments. So if you are signed onto this, that the Universal Declaration, the AU Protocol, the CEDAW, all of those things, and then you still go on to do this, there isn't a law, it means it is against human rights.
If you there listeners, you want to be a part of this program, call us on 0555 995 995 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 0778 594 595 or 0777 700 995. We're talking FGM here today with the National Administrator of the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices in Liberia. And I think we have our very first caller on the line. Caller, good evening. Where are you joining us from? Hello. Hello, can you check up a bit? Okay, we lost it. Call us on 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 or our alternative line 0778 594 595. A caller is here. Caller, let's hear you.
Hello,
Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Bobby Sodua,
Okay, Bobby.
calling from Put on fun.
Okay, go ahead.
Put on fun.
Yeah, we're getting you. Go ahead.
It is about human rights. Human rights is good. It's good, but put on no say that human rights is good. Because now you talking about forcing marriage and for yeah your parent force you into anything that you don't want because they feel that they may have money.
Okay.
And also your own self parent is that what to do or what not to do. Your own self because you have your mind to say yes or no.
Okay. Okay, thank you
Okay?
so much.
Yeah. I
Thank
told the
you.
land.
Thank you. We have others on the line. Just very short. Okay. 0777-700-995, 055-995-0778-594-595 are the numbers to call and be a part of this. 30 seconds you call, make your point, and let the other people call. Somebody says, this issue of the Western civilization and everything, this is the cause, or this is the reason why you people are now denying your culture or your tradition that you've been practicing for decades.
So it is not denial of our culture. We are not against our culture. Culture is a way of life. So no one, even the Westerners have their culture. So no one will live and say they don't have culture. So what is it is there are things that harm people. The women and girls that go through that live with trauma. Some of them are not married today because of that. Some of them just live with that grief because what is happening to me, I don't know about it. So the aspect of the mutilation is not a culture. It's global. It's all over the world. So if it was a culture unique to Liberia, then we'll say, yeah, FGM is only in Liberia. But FGM is practiced in other countries. So African countries as well. And those African countries have agreed to sign and have a law to abolish FGM. There are 3 African countries that Liberia, including 2 African countries that do not have laws on FGM, abolishing FGM. So we are not against culture. To that person who gave the question, we're not against culture. We are against the harmful part of the culture, which is the mutilation.
Okay, wonderful. 0777-700-995, 0555-995-995, or 0778-594-595. Call us and be a part of this program. We're talking FGM here on OKFM 99.5. Now to the issue. These people, our forefathers, our parents, our great-grandparents, they use this most of the times to make a living. You go there, you go to the school, like you said. No, these days we pay school fees,
Yeah.
but there are other fees, that the people used to pay. What? Let's talk about what do you say or to them about livelihood, because you go into that community. This community has this Sunday group where women and girls can go, and then the women there can use that to make a living, their living.
Yeah.
I've learned that they
Yes.
make living from this.
It's for economic
what are your
benefit.
intentions when it comes to their livelihood to sustain themselves?
So the Spotlight Initiative through UN Women in the past year was able to build heritage center using it as alternative livelihood. So this heritage center is now built in 4 counties. It's in Grand Cape, Mount County, Lofa, Nimba, and Montserrat.
Okay.
So this is something that you will be looking at when you leave from that aspect. And the alternative livelihood action in Liberia is working with those that are agreed to leave the practice. And right now, they are in 4 counties too. They are in Gbapolu, Bon, Grand Jide, Monserrado. And they are working with 271 practitioners in Gbapolu, 101 in Bon, 10 in Grand Jide, and 72 in Monserrado. These people have been giving agriculture tools to work at the same time. They've been giving loan, village saving loan, and other things that they can do with their hands, so that they still feel that yes, they can get their own money with the village saving loan. At the end of the year, you see one practitioner walking away with 50,000, 100,000 Liberian dollars. So if the people get used to those things, then they will, the aspect of the mutilation, they will leave it. The Heritage Center is there so that the students still come like they do in the bourgeois. They still come to pay a little to learn to dance, learn to weed the cloth, learn to plait the mat and other things. So with the issue of the economic benefit, it still remains, but in another dimension.
So we have less time. We have like 2 minutes to wrap up. Do you see Liberia becoming FGM free? How long do you think that is going to take to achieve your goal?
So in a short and very short time frame, I know that Liberia will have a law. The first thing is there should be a law for abolishing FGM. Then we talk about total being free totally from FGM. So if there is a law, that law will now penalize people who go against this. So with that, I know that Liberia will be free from FGM. If we first of all, before, our thinking is before the end of this moratorium next year, or before February 6th of next year, we should have a law in Liberia banning FGM.
1 minute, Marian. Just tell us what you want to say to everybody listening to you right now.
So to everybody listening to me, today is International Day of Zero Tolerance to FGM under the theme, Her Voice, Her Future. And there is this hashtag, Her Voice Counts. Her voice matters because that woman, that girl that is crying over there living with that trauma needs to be reintegrated into the community if we have that law. So I'm calling on society, join us. We are not against culture. The sounding remains, but the mutilation aspect of that is what we are against. We want initiation without mutilation.
I don't know. Let's squeeze this long caller. Caller, you live? Hello? Hello, caller?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, thank you. I'm Silas Mato calling from Radio GSP Road.
Okay, go ahead. Just shake up a little bit.
Actually, I really admire the program. It's just like no time now. I just coming in late.
Okay.
But these are things that really have to be discussed to the lowest level of most of the participants. Because sometimes, if you are going into the culture, if you know that maybe the parties is not benefiting you, nobody has to tell you. So that's one of the aspects that people have very hard to focus on. Because our leaders, to take them for no things that really that they are being oriented for is not something easy.
Yeah,
but
it
really
takes time.
appreciate that effort as well.
It takes time. Thank you so much. You were ending.
Yeah, so I want to say a big thank you to Action Aid Liberia.
Yes, okay, thank you for putting me in the time.
Sorry, okay. Yeah.
To Action Aid Liberia with support.
We're not taking any more calls. Sorry, we're not taking calls. Yeah.
With support from the Swedish Embassy for this initiative. We are calling on other donors, other partners to come on board because the simplified version is here. We need to take it to various communities that people will know what is it. We don't want it to be Monrovia based. So we still need support. We say thank you for the time and thank you to the audience.
Thank you so much too. Her name is Marian Deah, the National Administrator of the National Coalition Against Harmful Practices. And as you may be aware, today is the observance of the International Day of Zero Tolerance for Female Genital Mutilation. We talked a lot, so much. So this program, this talk show is in collaboration with Talking Drum Studio in Liberia. So until I talk to you, when I talk to you, keep listening and
Drum Studio. Liberia.